Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you are a tennis fan, if you are a follower of the rising stars of the WTA Tour, or if you've been tracking the meteoric rise of Asian tennis, then what happened in Auckland, New Zealand, over the last 24 hours is something we need to talk about. It is a story of absolute resilience, of history almost made, and of a heartbreak so visceral that it has sent shockwaves through the tennis world and exploded across social media. We are talking about the pride of the Philippines, the 20-year-old sensation Alex Eala, and a semifinal match at the ASB Classic that will be remembered as one of the most chaotic, emotional, and grueling battles of the early 2026 season. The headline you are seeing everywhere is true. The WTA world is reacting. Alex Eala has taken to Instagram with a message that is both devastating and inspiring, captioning her post with the words, "Until my heart stops. So close yet so far." And that phrase, "so close yet so far," perfectly encapsulates the drama we just witnessed. We are talking about a match where Eala was one single point away from her first ever WTA Tour final. 1 point away from history. 1 point away from capping off a dream week in Auckland where she had already taken down legends. But sport, as we know, can be cruel. Today, we are doing a complete deep dive. We are not just looking at the scoreline. We are looking at the narrative. We are breaking down why the entire tennis community is buzzing about this match against China's Wang Xingyu. We are going to dissect the miraculous comeback in the first set that defied all logic. We are going to analyze that heartbreaking missed match point in the second set that changed everything. And we're going to talk about the physical toll, the medical timeout, and the sheer will of fight that Eala displayed until the very last ball was struck. But that is not all. Because this week in Auckland wasn't just about one loss. It was a highlight reel of greatness. Later in this video, we're going to count down the top 7 most viewed ASB Classic reels and moments involving Alex Eala this week. From her stunning doubles upset over Venus Williams to the viral clips of the Filipino crowd turning the stadium into a home game. This is a comprehensive story of a tournament that has arguably redefined Alex Eala's career, pushing her to a projected new career-high ranking and setting the stage for the Australian Open. So buckle up. This is not just a match recap. This is a documentary-style breakdown of a moment that proves Alex Eala is no longer just a prospect. She is a contender. Let's get into the deep dive. Let's set the scene. The ASB Classic semifinal. Auckland, New Zealand. Center court. On one side, you have Alex Eala, the 4th seed, coming off a blistering quarterfinal win where she swept Poland's Magda Linette. On the other side, you have the 7th seed, China's Wang Xingyu, a player known for her heavy hitting and resilience. The atmosphere? Electric. Reports from the ground state that the stadium was packed with hundreds of Filipino fans, creating one of the loudest environments the tournament has ever seen. It felt like a home match in Manila, not a neutral ground in New Zealand. But the start was a nightmare. If you looked at the scoreboard 20 minutes in, you would have thought it was game over. Wang Xingyu came out firing. Now, I mentioned at the top of this broadcast that this week wasn't just about this one heartbreaking loss. The internet has been flooded with highlights from Eala's run in Auckland. Based on the engagement, the shares, and the noise on social media, we have compiled the top 7 most viewed and viral moments from Alex Eala's ASB Classic campaign. These are the moments that defined her week. Number 7, the explosion on Instagram. We have to start with the aftermath. The post that the title of this video refers to. Shortly after the match, Eala posted a photo of herself looking up at the sky, exhausted but proud. The caption, "Till my heart stops. So close yet so far." This post instantly went viral within the tennis community. It was an explosion of anger, but an explosion of raw, unfiltered emotion. Thousands of comments poured in from fans and fellow players, validating her effort. It showed the human side of the sport, the pain of coming so close, and it resonated deeply with fans worldwide. Number 6, the quarterfinal sweep of Magda Linette. Before the heartbreak, there was domination. The reels of Eala dismantling the 5th seed, Magda Linette, were everywhere. Linette is a veteran, a player who makes you work for everything. But Eala swept her 6-3, 6-2. The highlight here was Eala's forehand down the line. There is a specific clip circulating of Eala hitting a running forehand winner that left Lynette flat-footed, which has garnered thousands of views as a testament to Eala's improved court coverage. Number 5, the medical timeout resilience. It is strange to say a medical timeout is a highlight, but the footage of Eala returning to the court in the semifinal, clearly in pain, trailing 0-4, and still throwing herself at the ball is inspiring. There is a clip of her grimacing after a serve, shaking it off, and then winning the next point with a drop shot. It's being shared as a definition of pusso heart. It showed that she was willing to put her body on the line for the flag. Number 4, the crowd atmosphere, Manila and Auckland. You cannot talk about this week without the fans. One of the most viewed reels is simply a pan of the crowd during the semifinal. Flags everywhere. Chants of Alex. Alex, drowning out the umpire. The ASB Classic official account even posted about the atmosphere. For a neutral viewer scrolling through Instagram, seeing that level of passion for a 20-year-old rising star is captivating. It proves she is a draw card. She sells tickets. Number 3, the miracle comeback of Set 1. The compilation video of Eala going from 1-5 down to 7-5 up against Wong Sin-yu is pure gold. It's a study in momentum. The reel highlights the shift in body language. Wong getting frustrated, Eala getting pumped up. It's a 60-second clip that encapsulates the unpredictability of tennis. Watch the point of 5-5, where Eala hits a backhand cross-court winner to break. The roar from the crowd is spine-tingling. Number 2, the doubles upset of Venus-Williams. We cannot forget the start of the week. Eala and her partner, the young American Ivanovic, took down actual tennis royalty. They defeated Venus-Williams and Alina Svitolina. The reel of Eala shaking hands with Venus-Williams at the net is iconic. It represents the passing of the torch. Eala wasn't intimidated. She served huge against Venus. That image of the Filipino flag next to the name Williams on the scoreboard is something that will be replayed for years. Number 1, the missed match point drama. And the number 1 most viewed, most discussed moment is, unfortunately, the turning point. The missed match point in the semifinal. It is being analyzed by tennis coaches and fans alike. Not to criticize, but to agonize. The slow-motion replay of the ball landing just millimeters out. The collective gasp of the crowd. It is the most viral moment because it is the most dramatic. It is the moment that changed the destiny of the tournament. It is a harsh lesson, but one that undeniably draws eyeballs. She was breaking Eala's serve at will, punishing the forehand, and moving Eala's side to side with clinical precision. Eala found herself in a deep, deep hole. She was trailing 1-5 in the first set. At this level of professional tennis, coming back from 1-5 is statistically nearly impossible. The set is usually written off. Commentators start talking about the second set. The crowd gets quiet. But this is where the Alex-Eala explosion began. This is where the shock factor comes in. Instead of folding, Eala flipped a switch. It was almost inexplicable. She began to extend the rallies. She started finding depth on her returns that pushed Wong onto back foot. Slowly, methodically, she clawed one game back. Then another. Then she broke serve. Suddenly, the score is 3-5. Then 4-5. The crowd is waking up. The chants of "Let's go, Alex" start rumbling through the arena. And then the impossible happened. Alex-Eala didn't just catch up. She reeled off 6 consecutive games. She went from 1-5 down to winning the set 7-5. It was a masterclass in mental toughness. It was the kind of comeback that signals a player has matured, that they don't just rely on talent, they rely on grit. Going into the second set, the momentum was entirely with the Filipina star. She was flying. She broke early. She held serve. And she found herself leading 5-3. This was it. She was serving for the match. She was serving for a place in the final against either Alina Svitolina or Ivanovic. The crowd was on its feet. She earned a match point. 1 point. That is all that stood between her and arguably the biggest singles final of her career on the main tour. And this, my friends, is where the heartbreak sets in. This is the moment that undoubtedly fueled that emotional Instagram post. On match point, Eala had a look. She went for a bold winner into the deuce corner, a shot she had been making all week. but it sailed just long, just inches. That missed opportunity seemed to shift the tectonic plates of the match. Wang Xinyu, who had been on the ropes, suddenly saw a lifeline. She saved the match point. She broke Eala's serve to make it 5-4. The pressure shifted. You could feel the tension radiating off the court. Wang, buoyed by that survival, started swinging freely again. She held serve. 5-5. Eala, perhaps still thinking about that missed chance, faltered. Wang broke again. 6-5. And then Wang served it out. 7-5. The match was leveled at 1 set all. From being 1 point away from victory, Eala was now dragged into a deciding third set. Now, we have to talk about the physical toll. This was a war of attrition. We are nearing the 2-hour mark. And in the third set, the body started to rebel. Eala went down 0-3 quickly. It looked like the tank was empty. She called for a medical timeout. The trainer came out. It appeared to be a back issue, something that has hampered her intermittently. Fans were holding their breath. Was she going to retire? Was this how it ended? She came back out, trailing 0-4. Most players would have tanked the set, saved their energy for the next tournament. But Alex Eala is built differently. Just like in the first set, she started to fight. She broke back. She held. She broke again. She clawed her way back to 4-5. The stadium was shaking. Could she do it again? Could she come back from the dead twice in one match? She fought off match points from Wang. She scrambled for every ball. But ultimately, the deficit was too large and the physical limitations were too great. Wang Xinyu finally closed it out, taking the third set 6-4. The final score, 5-7, 7-5, 6-4. A match duration of nearly 3 hours. It was a loss, yes, but the reaction from the tennis world wasn't one of disappointment in her performance. It was all at the battle. Wang Xinyu herself said in the post-match interview, "It was a crazy battle. Alex is such a fighter. I felt the pressure even when I was up." That respect from an opponent tells you everything you need to know. So where do we go from here? The dust is settling in Auckland. The final will go on without Alex Eala, but in many ways, she was the story of the tournament. We need to contextualize what this week means for her career. Despite the loss, Alex Eala is projected to rise to a new career-high ranking. The live ranking suggests she will break into the top 50, sitting potentially at number 49 or 50 in the world. This is a massive milestone. Breaking the top 50 is the gateway to direct acceptance into almost all major tournaments. It means fewer qualifying rounds. It means better draws. It means respect in the locker room. Furthermore, this performance is the perfect preparation for the Australian Open. The first Grand Slam of the year is just around the corner. If Eala can carry this form, the grit she showed in the first set, the shot-making she showed against Lynette, onto the courts of Melbourne Park, she is going to be a dangerous floater in the draw. No seeded player will want to see Alex Eala's name next to theirs in the first round. We also have to talk about her development. For years, critics have questioned if she had the power to hang with the big hitters or the stamina for the 3-hour wars. This week, she answered those questions. She stood toe-to-toe with Wang Xinyu, a heavy hitter. She outlasted Venus Williams. She played multiple three-setters. The back injury is a concern, and her team will need to manage that carefully in the coming days. But the mental fortitude is undeniable. This shock on Instagram, this explosion of emotion, it comes from a place of hunger. Alex Eala knows she belongs at the top. She isn't happy with just a semifinal. She wanted the trophy. And that dissatisfaction is exactly what fuels champions. As we sign off on this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. Tennis is a game of millimeters. A ball landing in or out can change a career trajectory in the short term. But over the long term, it is character that defines a career. And Alex Eala showed an abundance of character in Auckland. The heartbreak of today is the fuel for the victories of tomorrow. The WTA wasn't just shocked by the result. They were put on notice. Thank you so much for joining me for this extensive breakdown. We will be tracking Alex's recovery and her road to the Australian Open every step of the way. Now, I want to hear from you. What was your take on the match point? Did you think she should have played it safer, or was going for the winner the right call? And how far do you think she can go in the Australian Open with this level of play? Drop your thoughts, your analysis, and your messages of support for Alex in the comments section below. I read through them, and I'd love to get conversation going. Don't forget to like this video if you appreciate these deep dive updates, and subscribe so you never miss a breaking story in the world of tennis. Until next time, keep watching the ball.